Hello everybody. On today's video I'm gonna share with you open house ideas. I've done a lot of open houses, I would say over 40 or even more in the course of 2 years, where I was on and on in the kind of in the business in a way. Like, I have another business that I'm very involved in, and also I set back myself. I kind of pull myself out of the whole real estate thing for about a month and a half, because I wanted to figure out what kind of agent I wanted to be. So that's going to be another video that I'm going to talk about more in the details. But today I want to talk about open house ideas. So I've read a lot of things. I've seen a lot of examples, whether it's Pinterest or online on any kind of website. And I think at the end of the day, you're going to figure out what is going to work for you. I've done cookies, I've done water, I've done a flower seeds, plant seeds, or just name it, and I think I've done it all. And while at the beginning I was really excited about the food when I was bringing, I'm not talking about like huge like lunch or snacks and stuff. I'm not talking about those expensive open houses that there some agents are doing for the luxury. I'm talking about the very regular houses. So I've done the cookies and I've done everything else, but I feel like nowadays I'm thinking more and more, and I don't like the idea of the cookies and food in general, just because the people may start eating and making the home of the seller kind of not really, appealing. So what I do, or what I start doing mainly, is the water, because they usually take it on the way out. Sometimes they take it on the way in, but it's water, so it's the least mess they can make, I feel. Even if they spill water, I can wipe it and stuff. But when you have cookie or chocolate on the carpet, oh, that's a hassle. You really need to be careful, because having an open house actually is a huge responsibility, and you want to make sure, especially if the people are still living there. Even if the people don't live there, there's still stuff in the house sometimes, so you just have to be really careful and cautious about it. So I was doing the cookies, and the kids love the cookies, but then the kids are walking with their parents in the homes, and they're making a mess, and the kids are fighting, and then they're fighting, and the cookies are going all over the place. So with the flower seeds, not everybody likes to plant flowers, and it's the reason I'm saying that is because I feel like sometimes we need to be really careful how we're spending our money, because if you waste money, you'd rather spend those money in some ads or something else, but not like buying food. And many times I had open houses where the people never wanted to get a cookie. They just like, oh no, we're okay. And then I have a bunch of cookies with me, and I bring them in my home, and my kids of course want to eat them, and I'm like, no. I spent like say 10, 15 whatever dollars I spent for the cookies. Nobody ate them. I don't think the cookie will really make the sale. I don't think the cookie will make somebody become a buyer with you, or a seller, or get a lead. Or honestly, I've tried many things, and what I'm understanding more and more, it's like the connection you make with the people. There's something that I started doing recently, and I'm gonna show you an example. So you see this sheet. So I went to Canva. If you're not familiar with Canva, I can actually help you learn it. It's pretty self-explanatory, but some people are not very they're not just good at certain things. So if you're not good at creating certain documents, some prints and stuff, I can kind of give you guidelines. It's very easy. So anyway, so I got this, I just have 4 sheets of this. So I decided to do a name, email, and is there anything I can help you with. This used to have, do you have an agent that you're working with? And the reason I changed it, because most of the people will say yes, even if they don't have agent that they're working with. The one of the other important things is that, welcome to my open house, please sign per owner's request. You want to make sure that the owners are actually requesting that, because if they find out that you're the one requesting, they're less likely to give any of their information. And you will have people coming to your open house giving you bad looks, not wanting to speak to you, and that's okay. You just can talk to whoever really is willing to talk and have a conversation. It doesn't really have to be necessarily about the real estate market. It can be about anything. I've had conversations about every single thing, whether it's the kids, whether it's the flowers, whether it's the weather, whether it's anything. So if you can have a conversation with somebody, I think it's easier to get their information, but be respectful if the people don't want to give their information, because that's kind of personal space, and you do not want to sound desperate, because if you sound desperate to me and to many people, it seems like you're not that good at what you're doing and you're trying your best to be kind of, getting everybody's information. So yeah, so sometimes people do feel that, sometimes the people don't feel that, and just respect their decision. But I think this does help me because they see, oh, the owner wants information, I'm filling it out. And then at the end of the day, when I get home, I send them email thanking them that they're coming to my open house, and ask them if there's anything I can help them with, and don't bother them anymore. You don't want to call them, you don't want to ask them when are you going to buy, when are you going to sell, and all these kind of things. I had actually a very interesting thing happened. One of my open houses, one of the girls that was looking for the house, one of the women, she said, I have a agent, my aunt or something was an agent, but there were so many people coming in groups that I didn't figure out who was the aunt and whatever, and then later on I figured it out. So I just said, thank you so much for coming to my open house, and you're in great hands with your aunt being a real estate agent or something like this. And then I found the aunt's information. She was actually definitely a real estate agent. She was active. So I sent her a text message and I said, hey, it was so nice meeting you at the open house, whatever. I sent email to your niece that I'm thanking her that she came to my open house, and I'm not gonna add her into my newsletter because you're already a real estate agent. She was so pleasantly surprised. She said, I can't believe that somebody's reaching out to me and saying that they will not add her email and whatever. I feel that there's certain things we need to be kind of really careful and respectful. I know I could have added her email to my newsletter, but I don't think that's the right thing to do. And I know some real estate agents will disagree with me, but that's how I choose to do business, because I respected her, and now she respects me even more for that. So if something happens, she knows how she can reach out to me. And real estate business is always, yes, it's a referrals, but also for you to have a good reputation with the people is really important, what I'm finding out more and more. So of course you're going to find all kind of agents, but this to me is one of the most important things, to have a good relationships with the people. So so let me tell you, so what I started doing is, for going back to the open house ideas, is like, I just get water. Sometimes you can, if you want, you can tie your business cards on the water, but when you give them the flyers of the open house itself, whether you printed them with your information or whether the lender printed them and he's or she's with you at the open house, they will have your information. So I stopped wasting my business cards because I think the people are throwing them away. So yeah, I do the water, and I do the flyer, and also I have a conversation, and if they need more information, I can get their information to give them more information about certain things. But I'm not pushy, I'm not salesy, I'm doing my job, and I like it. I like it that I don't have the pressure that I have to get everybody's information if they're not willing to give it to me. What other thing is, like, I go before the open house about 40 minutes because I want to put my signs out. I've done balloons with the open signs or with the signs. You can choose and pick whatever works for you. The balloons are getting the attention definitely because they're moving around if there's wind, but if there's no wind and there's no helium in them, they're gonna be like boop. So yeah, that's one thing. The other thing I can try doing is, I'm thinking in the future, is like a flags. They have some little kind of cool flags. Some businesses are advertising this way. I can have just an open house flag, so it's kind of bigger. We're gonna see about that. But I go to my open houses about 40 minutes before I'm supposed to have it. So I set up my signs. I get into the open house, make sure everything is fine, because you never know if somebody decides to break in or something scary happens. I hope I never have to experience this. I turn on the lights. I make sure the air condition, if it's hot outside, is on. I open some of the doors depending if I know that people will go out all the time. I don't want to make sure that they keep opening and closing the doors and shutting them all the time. I just want to make sure everything is fine, everything is good. So I know also how is everything located in the house. I don't want to be like staying in the kitchen or whatever is the entrance and just be like, yeah, this is there maybe or maybe not, let me see this. You need to really know what kind of open house you're doing. You need to know what's where, kind of how many bathrooms here, and the square footage. Those are the main questions that people ask. Rarely they're gonna ask you about the air condition, about something else. And if you don't know, it's not embarrassing to say I don't know. You just say let me check, and just go to the MLS and check, or whatever you're using to check the open house. Thank the people that they're coming to your open house. Just be positive, smile at the people, even if you have a rough day, even if you have a rough week. You chose to do that, and it's not their problem that you're in a bad mood. So just kind of think about those things, because we all are going through the same thing. Yeah, we have sometimes our good and bad days. Make sure your bags or belongings, whatever you have, is somewhere in the cabinets. You don't want the people to see your bags. It's just, I don't think it's professional. Make sure you dress professionally. You don't have to wear a suit, but just don't wear like mini skirts. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Some people may think that they can wear whatever they want, but what kind of attention you want to get, you need to be professional. So it's definitely business attire, I would say. That's my personal opinion. Don't chew gums. Don't eat in front of the people. I sound like a mother, but I'm telling you guys, I've seen it all, and yeah, the people appreciate when you're professional with them. For 2 hours, I don't think you're gonna be starving. You can get some water, but I don't think you're gonna be starving if you don't eat for 2 hours. And that is pretty much it. Just be a nice person, love what you're doing, because you chose to do real estate, and the people will be really appreciative. They're gonna be connecting with you. Some will leave their information, and that's, for me, that's what has been working for me. And I'm actually excited that I didn't follow everybody's advice about how to do open house and be pushing, get this and this. I've heard agents telling me to get their social security, and this is like blowing my mind. No, I'm not getting anybody's social security. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel, and more videos are coming up soon. Thank you. Bye.